guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a bins haul. And this week I had kind of a lethal combination. It's the dead of summer, so the bins are kind of always crowded, even on weekdays, because there's a lot of kids that are out of school. So it was a day where I had kind of limited amount of time to shop, and it was super busy. But I made it out of there. I think I've got 31 pieces, really good pieces, lots of interesting stuff to talk about. But it's always interesting to see what I can get my hands on days like this when it is so crowded and it is so chock full of people. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But with that being said, guys, we've got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Not a huge quantity, but lots and lots of good brands that I can't wait to share with you. Lots of stuff that I've never found before. So I'm excited about that. So with that being said, why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. So we will kick this off today with the one non-clothing thing that I picked up. And if you have been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I love picking up high quality bedding when I can find it. And these are almost impossible to show on the haul, but this is a duvet cover king size from Parachute. That is the label that you're looking for there. This is very high end. They used to be direct to consumer only, and now they have some brick and mortar stores. I know that there's at least one here in the LA area, but they are very expensive. They're very high quality. Their duvet covers for a king size probably start at about $200. I should see about $50 on this one. I tore apart that bin looking to see if I could find the pillowcases, but no such luck. I have had luck finding complete sets before to great avail. Just recently I found both a duvet set and a sheet set from Cultivar, which is a very, very expensive brand, all linen. They sold for $300. So guys, don't sleep on linens. So that was a good one. For something like this, which is a little bit more of an ornate duvet cover, this has a little bit of a texture to it. Without the pillowcases, I'll probably see 40, 50 bucks, but generally when I have high quality bedding like this, it sells very, very quickly. So that's a quick, great sale for, a $2 cost at the bins. All right, now into the clothes. So the first piece we have here, and this is the kind of stuff I will pick up anytime. This is 90s vintage for sure. This is just like a brown satin mini dress. The brand on this is Ripe Clothing, which I don't necessarily think is a super high-end brand. Let me know if you know differently. I can see on here that it is made in the US. You can tell, just if you look at this contents tag, you can tell that that was printed in the 90s. It's an easy way to tell if something is actually vintage. And this is so on trend for what is happening right now. So I should probably see somewhere $30, $35 on this, maybe a little bit more. Because it is a special occasion, I will use, obviously this is something that somebody could wear casually, but this is also something that somebody could wear to homecoming, and homecoming shopping season is coming up around the corner. So use homecoming as a tag, use HOCO, H-O-C-O, which is the colloquialism for it. So something like this I will pick up anytime I see it. And that is even something that I would probably be comfortable paying up for a little bit in the regular thrift, just because of what it is. Vintage dresses are very in demand right now. Next up, now this is something that very well might stay with me. These are from Reformation, and I literally found these exact same pants a couple weeks ago, but they are leopard print, high waist, kind of wide leg with a cropped length, and this is so up my alley, and these are my size. The other ones that I found were a size 4. I want to say that these retailed about $200, and sold comps are between 40 and 80 on these. I want to say they're called the Marlin pants. So yeah, I'm gonna try these on, and if they fit, they're gonna stay with me. If they don't fit, or if I don't like the way that they look, they'll get sold. But go figure, finding the same exact Reformation piece just a few weeks apart, in great condition as well. Next up, now this is from Athleta, and Athleta is a brand that I've really slowed up on picking up. That being said, these kind of tops, this is basically an after yoga thing. It's an open front cardigan with a little bit of a drape collar. I literally just sold this exact same sweater for $40. So I would expect to get something like this. This is a petite length, so maybe slightly less, but somewhere around $25 and $40 on this. We'll have to see just how many are available, what sold comps are for this particular size, like the petite sizes. But I would be really hesitant to pay up for a lot of Athleta these days in the regular thrift. I'm hesitant to pick up leggings even in the bins, but stuff like this, and they're more like streetwear type stuff. They have a lot of like, you know, white button down shirts that you can wear to the office, but they're tech fabric. Those still do very well for me, but just, you know, when it comes to seeing that label, exercise caution when you see it, and certainly check comps before you pay up for anything. Next up, this is a little shirt from Amour Vert. And this is a brand that just kind of like all of a sudden disappeared. I found a few pieces from them. They've all sold quite well. It was a pretty expensive brand, and their whole shtick was sustainability. Like that's kind of what they did. And they had a bunch of stores around here that just like literally abruptly closed. Like they were open one day, they were liquidating the next, and then they were gone the day after that. But this is just a little cross front shirt, navy blue, like brand new condition. So soft. It's gotta be modal. Yeah, micro modal. Even though it is still in the same family as like a viscose or a rayon. Things like modal and Tencel, Ecovero, they tend to have a little bit more prestige on their name, despite again being in the same family as other kind of less expensive fabrics. I think they're a little bit more shrink resistant as well, because like rayon is not at all shrink resistant. But anyway, just blanket statement, if you ever have anything that is any kind of cellulose fabric, cold water wash, no dryer, please. So anyway, something like this I'll probably get, you know, 25 to 32 on. It's a little bit less significant piece, but I just recently sold a suit blazer by them, and I think I got $95 for it. So definitely a label to keep your eyes out for, and now that it's closed, it's a finite supply on earth. So people who really love it are gonna be looking for it. Next up, okay, let's talk about what's coming down the road. Now, this is from the United Colors of Benetton. Anybody who was around 20 years ago absolutely knows that label. So this is Y2K vintage pink trim polo shirt. Now, if you were around in the early 2000s, it wasn't all these baby doll t-shirts. It was polo shirts stacked, like multiple polo shirts. If you had like 2 collars popped, like you were even cooler. So I think we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a resurgence in vintage Benetton, because this was such an aspirational brand at the time. This would have been like, you know, from somebody who kind of lived in that era, you know, Abercrombie was like the everyday aspirational line. You had like your Aeropostale or Aeropostale. Please settle something for me. I just had this conversation with my best friend. We called it Aeropostale back east. Everybody out here calls it Aeropostale. How do you pronounce it? Like, I don't know if this is a regional thing or if we were just saying it wrong or if the West is saying it wrong, but let me know. Anyway, so that was kind of like your everyday clothes, your American Eagle. And then like the aspirational brand was Abercrombie, and then Benetton was like the rich kids, you know? So I think we're gonna be seeing this resurgence of this like the mid 2000s to the late 2000s, the late naughty oddies. I think that's gonna be kind of trickling into fashion. I've got my eyes on it, but something like this, I'll probably see about 30 bucks on, because it is in fantastic condition, the color's right, and I think the style is right. It's gonna be wild to see if that kind of style comes back in. It's gonna be a resurgence of like the twee, the Anthropologie dresses, and then this kind of like preppy touchback to the mid 80s. It's gonna be interesting to watch. Next up, now this is from Paige. This is another brand that I'm pretty cautious with when I pick it up, but I do love their dresses. And this is like a Tencel. I mean, you can kind of see the weight on that. This is a midi length dress. It's very simple. It's got a square neck, long sleeves, and it's a size 4. And this is the newer label for Paige. Like if you see a label for Paige denim that's kind of like, looks like script or handwritten, unless it's a real style star, like leave that behind, because in my experience, it's really only the new label that's selling. The only bummer about this, and it's just a pretty standard little like natural waist midi dress, it is missing the belt, and I tore that bin apart looking for it. No such luck. That being said, something like this, if I was gonna wear a belt with this, I would probably throw on like one of my own belts, like just a black belt with a silver buckle or something like that. Super cute. This was probably a good $200 new. I will probably see somewhere in the vicinity of like $30 to $40 on this. That's about what I get for Paige dresses. So, and it does feel brand new condition. I wish that waist tie was there. Next up, this is just a little Free People basic top. Now these, something like this, probably not something I would pay $4 or $5 for in like a regular thrift store, but it's just a lightweight, this feels brand new, like a lightweight, ultra fine ribbed mock neck turtleneck in brown. So this one is actually intimately, it's a size medium. This is the kind of stuff from Free People that does really well for me. These kind of basics, but specifically the other brands other than like the main Free People line. Your intimately pieces, your We the Free pieces, especially the We the Free pieces, I'll see probably $20, $25 on this. And I have no doubt that this will go pretty quickly. This feels very like on trend right now. It's got a lettuce hem, it's slightly longer line, it's the right color, and it's in like basically brand new condition. So yeah, probably somewhere around $20 on this, and no doubt this will sell quick. This is like back to school basic all day. Next up, now these are something that I grabbed for me and I didn't like the way that they looked on me, so I'm gonna be selling them, but this is absolutely positively a brand you should keep your eyes out for. So I found two of them, they're the exact same thing. One is brand new with tags, and one is not brand new with tags, but they are the same size. And these are from Popflex. Now, that is the label. This is the tag if you ever see it. The thing is, this is one of those tags that's made to like pull off easily. So you want to keep your eyes out for the logo, a little bit more visible on this one. And that is the logo. So this is a brand that was started by a fitness YouTuber named Cassie Ho. And if you are in any way interested in the development of garments, she's worth a follow because she goes into detail as to like exactly what her thought process is in terms of designing these pieces. And I'll tell you, I have a couple pieces from her and I love them. These just unfortunately were a little too clingy, and like when I'm working out I don't want things clinging to me, but these I'll probably get $20, $25 a piece for, maybe a little bit more for this one because it's brand new. But if you're in the market for some workout clothes or some good loungewear, check out Popflex. They are spendy, but the quality is exceptional. She really does keep very tight control on her manufacturing and her textile selections and her finishing, which I have a lot of respect for, you know, especially for somebody who is not coming from like a textile background. I'm sure she had a lot of learning experiences and trial and error, but keep your eyes out for this logo. These are obviously not the most significant pieces, but her like certain sweatshirts will go 50, 60 bucks on the resale market. So keep your eyes out for that label. I don't think you're gonna find much because her stuff is so good and people like hold on to it for a long time. But let me know if you've ever had experience with it. Either you buy it for yourself or you found it and resold it. I've never found it in the thrift. I've never found it in the bins. This is the first time ever, and I was so excited to find some in like a silhouette that I was looking for myself. They didn't work, but somebody else will be able to get something like that for a little bit cheaper because again, they are pricey, but excellent, excellent stuff. All right, next up is this cute little dress. This is from a brand called Pfeffer, however you want to say it. That is the label. This is a brand that is sold at Revolve. This is kind of like a lightweight denim. This is like a denim look twill, and it's got these super cute like tie, wrist, bell sleeve details, exposed back, mini length. Sold comps for this designer can go up to like 60, 80 bucks. So I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to see if I can find this dress specifically, but probably 30 to 40, I'll estimate. Very, very cute. I just thought this style was so cute with these little bell sleeves. You know I love a bell sleeve. Next up, this is a pair of jeans. I don't pick up a ton of jeans, but these are from Redone, which is a very good brand. I want to say that they retail like $200, but I really like the style of this jean. So it's kind of like a khaki color, and this is called like the 70s Slim Straight, and it's kind of cut off. This hits right at ankle. Sold comps on this specific style are in the $40 to $50 range. So I'm interested to see how this does. I've never found Redone before, but again, I know it to be a good quality brand, and I like the style of them specifically. They definitely have that like little bit of a 70s flair, and I love it. So let me know if you have found Redone jeans. How do they do for you? Again, first time I'm ever getting my hands on some, so this is a test for me. Next up, this is the first of a few very cool vintage pieces that I found. This is, I believe, a hand knit sweater. It's definitely wool. It's got the weight of wool. It's this beautiful kind of cable-y knit. I have some people who knit out there in the audience. Let me know what this style is called, if there's like a specific name for this, because I know that this is a pretty like traditional knit pattern. This feels like a fisherman sweater to me. Like if I see this, this looks Aran Island to me. There is no label on the inside. There's no labeling at all on the inside. So this is either, you know, quite vintage. It definitely smells like a vintage sweater, not bad. It just, you know, smells like vintage wool. So it's either hand knit or quite old, and that label has fallen off. It's about a size small. It's definitely not that big. And there's a couple little specks on it, so I'll see if I can work on that. They look to be like surface level, but stuff like this, I'll typically get 40, 50 bucks for it on the minimum. But yeah, let me know if you know what this knit pattern is called, because I would love to be able to label it correctly. It's so pretty though, very, very traditional. And these are always in style and always a pickup, even worth paying up for, as long as they're wool. There's a lot of like acrylic knockoffs out there, and you know, you can usually at least tell if it's a wool blend by doing the weight test. Acrylic is just in general significantly lighter than wool, so you can feel the heft on this. You know, it's at least a wool blend. Next up, oh my God, this pretty dress. So this is another pretty high-end designer, smaller designer. It's Stefanel. Again, something I've never seen before. I do think that some pieces at least were sold on Revolve, but the main reason I picked this up is because it's this adorable crinkle chiffon with this butterfly print. It's buttoned down. You know, it's funny, when I saw this, I was like, this has to have a waist tie, but it does not. This is meant to just be like a little shirt dress. It is midi length. It's in like perfect condition. This color, it's like not picking up very vivid on the camera, but it's like a tomato red and a periwinkle blue. It's actually really pretty right next to each other. So something like this, sold comps on this brand look good. So I'm assuming somewhere between like $30 and $50 on this. It really is beautifully finished. Next up, oh, I wish this was my size. So this is from COS, and I love COS. I'll show you the label. I know I've shown you this label before, but I feel like on some of them it's just too small to see. So COS is under, I believe, the H&M family, but it's higher end, a very minimalist aesthetic. And this is so wrinkled. So the sleeves are 3/4 length, and it's a long blazer, which I just love. It is a dark blue, and it is a size 4. This just feels like something you would see somebody wearing on the streets of Berlin. I absolutely love it. It's got that kind of androgynous look to it. It's got this exaggerated like shawl collar, but costs very expensive. This probably was $200, $250. I'll probably see somewhere between $40 and $60 on this. Oh, I wish this was my size. I would wear this all day long. But absolutely a brand I pick up anytime I see it in the bins, and would, with very little hesitation, as long as it's a more significant piece, pay up for it in the regular thrift. Unless the price is jacked up, because that was a thing back east when I was just there. COS was one of the brands that they had jacked the prices up for. Next up, we've got another gorgeous cable knit sweater piece. This one's from Theory. This is older Theory. This is actually the older Theory label. The newer one is all like sans serif labels. It's a little bit of a thicker label. It's all sans serif text, block text. But this, being what it is, it's very, very classic. It's open front, slightly long, so it is bum covering. And I know that it's not technically like in style, but it is something that a lot of people really look for. And it is a blend. It is 80% merino wool and 20% cashmere. Now, I'm gonna pick up that kind of blend anytime I see it, especially in such a classic piece. Another one, let me know what this pattern is called. Isn't that so pretty? I've seen it a million times, I just don't know what it's called. So something like this, I'll have to take a look at some sold comps, but something like this I'll probably see like, again, $50, $60 on. It's beautiful and so soft. You know, you see something like this and you automatically think just like regular wool and scratchy and you gotta wear an undershirt. Like, I've got the most sensitive skin maybe in the world. I'm very pale. I like turn pink just looking at certain sweaters. I could wear this. This feels like cotton, but with like 3 times the warmth. Gorgeous. In perfect condition. Oh, you ready for this? This is another one of the vintage pieces. I don't know if the sparkle is catching the way that it is catching in person here, but this is just a little open front jacket. So it's an evening jacket. I wish you could feel the weight of this because it is heavy. But look at the pattern on this sequining. It's like directionally placed. It's so pretty. So it looks like a little grid pattern. This reminds me of something that would have come out of Hong Kong in the late 60s. This is very much their style. And it very well could have. The only tag on here is that it's a size 38, which I think is about a size medium. It's got hook and eye closure on the front, and it's kind of like a butter yellow. So it's something that I can leverage that color tag with, because butter yellow is still like huge right now. Thank goodness this is long sleeve. Like if this was a dress that was sleeveless, I would have left it behind, because these sequins are so sharp. Like this would literally tear the skin off of your arm if you had contact with this all day. But I just thought it was so beautiful and in like perfect condition. It's like a little bit of iridescence to it too. I'll probably see like $60, $70 on this. I'm gonna have to make sure that I really do a thorough job keywording it, because I just don't think that pictures or even video is doing justice to this, because it is so stunning. Next up, now this is another label that I've never found before, and it is Megan Los Angeles. This is now known as Megan Fabulous Los Angeles, and I think that she sells in Revolve, but she also sells through her own website. This is a very cute, like 70s-esque bell sleeve, lace trim, black mini dress. It's a size medium, I believe. It's kind of like a trapeze silhouette, and a lot of her vibe is very 1970s. She just recently did this big line with like the Grateful Dead using their motifs, but this is a brand that is really kind of opening the floodgates on their online advertising. So always keep your eyes out for that, because the more you see these things in your Instagram feeds, in your Facebook feeds, the more likely they're going to be in demand, right? Like just repetition and recognition matters when it comes to what brands sell. And Megan Fabulous has been putting a big budget into it. So something like this, like her pieces today, I wasn't able to find this piece, but her pieces today are selling for about $200. I would probably expect to see somewhere $30 to $50 on this. I'm gonna need to do a little bit more research on it, but lots that I can keyword this with. This is witchy, this is boho, this is like 70s, this is groovy, this is a little bit mod. I mean, there's a lot going on with this, despite it being a fairly simple black dress. So definitely a label I was excited to see and excited to show you guys, but keep your eyes out for it. Let me know if you've ever found it before. How did it do for you? All right, next up, this is an interesting one. Speaking of like finding duplicates, I literally found this exact same dress like a month or two ago, and it sold in 2 days. This is from Cleo and Wolf. Now, I was pretty sure that this was like a boutique brand. It's this cute textured gauze. Can you see the like pattern in that? I don't know if that's picking up very well on the camera, but when I went to dig for it, it looks like this is a brand that is sold in like Western stores, so like a Boot Barn type of thing. But it's midi length, super cute, just an easy breezy little summer dress. And again, it sold in like 2 days for, I want to say $25, almost $30. So, you know, when you have something that works like that, you're gonna pick it up the next time you see it. So let me know if any of you have ever heard of Cleo and Wolf or have ever sold Cleo and Wolf. I'm interested to hear if anybody else has had this experience. It could very well have been a fluke, but if the same pattern is repeated here, then we'll know that we've got a little bit of a baby bolo here. So, but TBD, and let me know if you've ever had experience with it. Let's see if we can find ourselves a consensus here. Oh, next up, so this is from Winter Silks, and the only kind of winter silks that I've ever found have been like pajamas, and they have been worked. This is actually brand new with tags. I don't think Winter Silks is still around anymore, but this jacket is adorable. So it's like a little 3/4 length jacket, and this is 100% linen, and then the collar is this beautiful silk drape. It almost looks like a scarf. So I'm interested to see how this does, but yeah, I'll get the steamer on this. This will look brand spanking. It is brand spanking new, but I'll probably see, you know, $30 to $40 on this. Really, really pretty though. Yeah, the only thing that's not silk or linen on this is the binding on the inside seams. So really beautiful, but definitely a label to keep your eyes out for. I've heard some very, very good things about Winter Silks. Oh, next up, this was just a basic little 3/4 sleeve button down shirt from Caulfield Preparatory. Now, I didn't know this brand. but the finishing on this felt really nice. This felt like a good quality cotton. And the thing that kind of stuck out to me, my first thought was, is this like a school uniform? But like Caulfield Prep, that's Holden Caulfield. You know, it's gotta be a reference to Holden Caulfield from like Catcher in the Rye. But I think he went to, I think it was called Pensy Prep. Oh my God, I haven't read that book in so long. I should reread it, it's a great book. Anyway, sure enough, this is great. And this will fall right in line with like the preppy, the nautical, the prep, Ivy League, dark academia, light academia, all those keywords can be used on something like this. And again, it's a brand that, you know, seems to be pretty high end. So, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be like lighting the world on fire with what I get for this, probably somewhere 25 to 35, but a great little basic piece. You know I'm a sucker for a striped button-down shirt. I know you guys see me in enough of them. I had a friend once laugh when she walked into my closet that it looks like a banker's closet from the 80s because I have so many striped button-down shirts, and I regret nothing. So next up, we've got another multiple here. These are the same shirt, different colors. I'm gonna show you probably the maroon one because it'll show a little bit better. These are from Free People. And I believe that they're called the penny tops. So they're these kind of like loose baby doll style tops. This is like a cotton slub. These are a size small, but the reason I grabbed these is these sleeves. Look at that. So I don't know if this is showing that well, but that center section here is mesh, right? So it's got this beautiful embroidered, voluminous blouson sleeves with this kind of embellished, embroidered mesh section in the middle. So pretty with these pretty shoulder details. So I got this in maroon and also in black. They were found right next to each other, so I'm assuming this was just like a raw donation. But same deal, that stunning sleeve. Great condition, both of them. I'll probably see, you know, 25 to 35 on both of these. I'll have to make sure I do a good job photographing these sleeves because I think that they're gonna be kinda hard to show, but they are beautiful. Next up, now this is from Sparrow. This is a brand from Anthropology. I don't even know if they're still around, but I love finding their stuff. It's one of the older brands from Anthro that does very well for me. They do these kind of vintage inspired knitwear pieces, and this is no different. So this is slightly longer line. It's red. It is a cardigan with a band waist and some front pockets. I was gonna say it feels like it's wool. It's 100% wool in fantastic condition. So I'm interested to see what I get for this. I've sold quite a few of the Sparrow cardigans and they usually get me between like 25 and 35 depending on size and condition. But with this being almost like a little bit of a light jacket, I might get a little bit more on this, maybe 50 or so. These kind of retro pieces, like I said, from Sparrow do very well for me. It is one of those brands that I keep my eyes out for. And if you are not familiar, this is actually a really big version of their label, but that is their logo. So keep your eyes out for it. I just think that this is so pretty. It's in like basically brand new condition. That does not feel like it's been worn much at all. Next up, now this is something that I'm interested to see how it does. It is the newer tag from Pilcrow and sold comps on it look actually very good. But it's just this little like cropped kind of distressed almost looking tee with this foil print, which as a consumer, like I will never buy anything with a foil print because they don't last. That is just the way that it's made. They crack faster, the metallic wears off. But it's short sleeve and then it's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got this like lace ruffle down the side. It's interesting, but like sold comps on this is like $30, $35. So I grabbed it and when I looked it up, the comps looked good. So lots of detail on it. It's really kind of funky, but so not my style, not something that I would have picked up from a style standpoint. But let's get this out of the waste stream and back into use because I think that this is maybe from like this year or like late last year. So we'll see. Getting there, guys. I think we've got 4, maybe 5 pieces left. This is another vintage piece. Some really cool vintage pieces. This needs a hook and eye and I can easily get this on there. This is a wrap dress. So it is sleeveless. Let's see if I can just kind of hold this together where it would go. So it's got a surplice top just like that, and it's this very delicate pleating, and it sits straight, but it'll have lots of flow when you move. These look like the Issey Miyake pleats pleats. They're like these kind of little micro accordion pleats. So they have the same kind of effect when wearing on the body. Or it is from a designer called Jack Bryan. It says it's a size 12. I'm gonna guess, let's see. That's gonna be a little bit closer to a size maybe 8 or 10. But again, in fantastic condition otherwise. I'll just put a new hook and eye on there and we'll be good to go. Something like this, I'll probably see like, I'll do a little bit of research on the designer, but I would anticipate probably like somewhere around 50, 60 bucks, maybe a little bit more. I not too recently sold another navy blue vintage accordion gown, and I think it went for like $80, and she absolutely loved it. So, I mean, these are the kind of things that you have to pull from the waste stream. I mean, they're just so cool. And you know, when you find a basic, like when it comes to vintage dressing, a lot of people are really intimidated by vintage dressing. Number one, because sizes tend to be very small, but a lot of people are a little bit like nervous about it because things look so strongly of an era. This looks like it could have been made yesterday. It's clearly from like the late 60s, early 70s, but it's vintage and it still has a very modern classic look. So this is a great like gateway drug into vintage, and I love finding those kind of pieces. Like, you know, when you find the basics, a great pair of black pants from the 60s, you know, like that is a good gateway drug. So next up, now this is something I might keep for me. Occupational hazard. This is such a pretty dress. So it's like a maxi dress, and it felt like, you know, when I first saw the label, does that label look familiar to anybody? It looks kind of like a Free People label, and I looked at it and the brand on it is Blink or Blank. Like Young, Fabulous, and Broke did a label like this as well. And I know that it was obviously being kind of referential to the Free People thing, but you know, your first thought is like, is this like a nothing brand? But the quality on this felt really nice. It's maxi length. It's got this beautiful kind of like a marble dye pattern on the bottom. And it's a size large. Turns out this is a pretty expensive brand. It is European. There's not a ton on the secondhand market, but sold comps look very serious for pieces from them. They tend to do a lot of like caftan style dresses, but retail on them is about $200 to $250. So interested to see first and foremost how this looks on me. But if not, I'll probably see somewhere between $40 and $60 on it. It is gorgeous. I wish you could feel the drape on it. It's got a drape like a silk crepe, you know? It's really, really pretty, and you can tell it's well made. So, an exciting find for sure. Just 3 to go here, guys. This is a vintage nightgown. The brand on this is Private Luxuries, which I don't think, you know, this doesn't have the same pull as like a Victoria's Secret, but it absolutely has all of the kind of hallmarks of stuff that people are looking for. It is 100% silk. It is that kind of short little chemise length. It's got the lace top. It's got adjustable straps. Like the quality on this feels really, really nice. I have no doubt that I'll probably see $25 to $35 on this, and I have no doubt that this will go fast, especially with Halloween coming up. These kind of blood red slip dresses and black slip dresses tend to sell really well going into that season. And it's a size large. So that's a good one. Again, something else that I will photograph on the mannequin to get the shape, but beautiful condition. I'm gonna guess that this is vintage from the 90s, just going by the tag. But keep your eyes out for these all silk slip dresses, guys. People aren't necessarily buying them to be nightgowns. They are buying them to wear as dresses. And they would rather have the silk than like the polyester satin. Next up, now this is a brand and a color that is trending pretty hard right now, and that is Pepper Mayo. Now, I have been absolutely bombarded with ads by Pepper Mayo, and they do a lot of dresses. They kind of went viral for this drop waist dress that they did, but they do a lot of pieces like this. This is, you know, obviously a butter yellow sleeveless vest. It's something I'm going to want to get photographed ASAP just because, you know, this is definitely a summer top. And this style, this vest as shirt, this color, all so trendy, but Pepper Mayo is just, you know, they are hitting the ads so hard. I'm always interested to see like what the quality is like, because you just like don't know until you have it in your hands. Happy to report this is beautifully made. It's fully lined. It's well finished. The fabrics are really nice, but it is a linen cotton blend. The lining is 100% cotton, so there will be no like gross heat trapping like you would have with an acetate lining. I'm pretty pumped about this. I'll probably see somewhere $35 to $40 on this. It's a US size 6. So cute. Excited to finally get my hands on one of these without having to pay, you know, full price to have one in my hands. But yeah, like I said, I'm very impressed with the quality on this for their price. They're not cheap, but like they're not super expensive, and the quality is high end. Really, really nice. And finally, this was a cool find. And it's gonna look weird because it's very, very stiff. This is a corset top. And the brand on this is Corset Story. I want you to keep your eyes out for that label. I don't know how often you're gonna find it, but especially with Halloween coming up, these kind of things are gonna be even more in demand. So this is a shirt, and obviously this is brand new with tags. You see the tags kind of floating around. So this is a kind of like a collared dress shirt. And they do a lot of like regular corsets, just like kind of ornamental corsets, but this is a dress shirt with a full-on corset. And I mean, when I say full-on corset, they actually have a sample of their bonings. When you get like a cheaper corset, it's usually like a little plastic or nylon stay. This is what real corset boning looks like. They call it spiral boning, and it's literally, trying to get that clear there, it's literally like a flattened coil. This thing is like rock solid. You don't want to bend it because it will bend and crease, but like if you want to be held in, this will do it. So again, this is brand new with tags. That right here, by the way, in case you just like are interested and have never seen it, real corsets cinch from the middle. They don't cinch from the bottom or from the top. Like if you ever see old school, you know, movie where somebody's holding the bedpost and they're cinching it in from the middle. And that's kind of how you can tell that you've got a real deal corset on your hands if it's like pre-laced to the middle. And it's actually done with this like nylon cording. Like this is not decorative. This is meant to like take 4 inches off your waist. So this probably retailed like $200 to $300, and on the resale market they're going for about $80 to $130. And of course this is brand new with tags, and it's a size 30, so like a medium. So definitely an exciting thing to find. Not something I ever thought I would find in the bins or in the thrift. You know, this is a pretty niche thing. I mean, like, look at the front where this comes together. First of all, look at the fasteners here. And I mean, like, this is rigid. This is pretty much rigid. It doesn't go all the way down, but like you are going to be sitting straight like a rod if you do sit down in this. But that was such an exciting find. I mean, like, just goes to show you never know what you're gonna find when you go to the bins. But that is it, guys. That is my small but mighty haul. Again, there wasn't a lot of bread and butter here. Like, it was busy. I didn't get my hands on a lot of things, but there were a lot of really cool brands, a lot of new bolos, a lot of things I've never gotten my hands on. So again, I love hauls like this where we get to talk about new brands and different things to look out for. Like, it just makes my heart so happy. But guys, I so appreciate you taking a little bit of time to hang with me and nerd out about some of these things that I find. I know that I never spend a day at the bins without learning something new, and I love being able to share that with you. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so. And I think I've got about $1,000 worth of sales here. So, you know, for 30 pieces, that's pretty dang good. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.